Fortnite doesn't care. So much has been secretly removed in Season 3. Easter eggs, items, there are even random changes you would never notice. Now this story is months in the making and it ties all the way back to the leaked roadmap. If you didn't know, concept art for all of 2024 was released, and zooming into Season 3 you would find an armored train. It looked crazy, and considering how bad the Chapter 5 train is, the much needed revamp was something we were all looking forward to. So we hopped out of the bus for our search, but not even the normal train could be found. Well, if you head to the edge of the desert biome, now you'll find her under the sand. Another secret change you probably missed is hiding at Sandy Steps. Of course, this used to be Snooty Steps, but now it's covered by the sandstorm, meaning our favorite statue has been destroyed. Yes, Peter Griffin's iconic fountain is gone, along with the flag declaring this place as his territory. It looks like Fortnite is finally moving on from the Family Guy crossover. Now, you've definitely used the weapon bench this year, it's pretty much guaranteed. This was the place to mod your items and throw attachments on, but if you go to one of these in Season 3, it's totally different. Fortnite has redesigned the weapon bench UI, turning it from the compact blue menu to a much larger and modern design. Players are divided. On one hand, they think it's way easier to navigate and takes up more of your screen, while haters think it's lifeless and miss the colors. And after 1,000 days, Fortnite did something to cars. Before, if you wanted to boost in a vehicle, it would take up a lot of fuel, so it was only really for emergencies or escaping the storm. However, with the new season, this mechanic has been deleted, and now boosting doesn't need any gas. It's to encourage vehicle battles, and that's why they've also secretly increased the health of them. Now some have over 2,000, it's insane. If you want some of that for yourself, you might struggle in Season 3 because Flowberries have been cut from the game. With healing items like Nuka-Cola, it's no surprise Fortnite got rid of these, especially when you realize the entire Flowberry farms have been removed. On the bright side, you can still find the fizz bottles around the map, so you can still shower your friends in Flow. But even the most powerful healing item in Fortnite is nowhere to be found. Last season, to match with the ancient Greeks, Epic designed a new food item called the Banana of the Gods. This was the strongest consumable in the game, replacing every single banana in the loot pool. So whenever you spotted one from a distance, you'd race to grab it. Now in Season 3, fans are noticing a banana, running up to it and realizing it's just an old piece of fruit. The godly item as we know it is gone. And so is the most powerful boss of Chapter 5, Zeus. This guy was a beast to fight at Mount Olympus. Fans hated battling him even if it was totally worth it. You would drop a Mythic Huntress DMR that was insane compared to the regular item. You can still grab the Huntress in Season 3, but this Mythic version is vaulted, probably forever. It had all the best mods already attached to it and was easily better than any sniper in the loot pool. The same goes for the Zeus Thunderbolt. These have also vanished in Season 3, which makes sense, yet fans are kinda disappointed. It would have been cool to throw a lightning bolt at a car or a war bus. And of course, the disappearance of his boss means that you can't grab the medallion anymore. This used to give you increased sprint speed, which was super helpful, although we have Nitro all over the map, and now it feels kinda useless. That's unlike the most controversial mythic we have had in years. For the whole of Season 3, we had an avatar item known as waterbending, and it was probably the strongest mythic in Fortnite history, and that's not an exaggeration. If you had this, you could easily win the match, and players hated fighting against it. It was super fun to use though. It was so well liked that when the Avatar collab ended, they removed every single item except for waterbending. And so fans hoped it would survive to Season 3. Sadly, with the Wasteland, there is no room for waterbending, and the Avatar temples which displayed them have also been mercilessly deleted. Now earlier I mentioned that Nitro is taking over the map. There's even a Nitro refinery, and entire Battle Pass characters are themed around it flowing through their veins. With such an important consumable, you would expect a sacrifice had to be made. That's why Slap had to go. Last season, barrels were the only way to get these, but Fortnite has deleted this final item, causing the entire drink to vanish. Nitro has fully taken over, and to be honest, it does most of the stuff Slap did anyway, so players aren't really concerned about it. And you probably won't ever get the chance to fight Hades again. He was the main boss of the underworld, being summoned by a statue in the center as he fought players to defend his loot. Now this domain is empty with no one to protect it, which also means you can't grab his stuff. The Mythic Harbinger SMG sounded amazing on paper. Who doesn't want a ridiculous fire rate? Spray and pray is always popular, but in Season 2, it just wasn't picked up that much. Instead, players loved Hades' exclusive mythic, the Chains. Throughout the season, this would alternate between useless and the most powerful item in the loot pool. It went through a ton of changes as Fortnite struggled to find a balance, but at its peak, this was impossible to fight against. Now they're gone and you will never be able to use them again. kinda like his medallion, which was extremely sought after. This gave you Siphon while running around, making it super useful and literally saved your life in the most intense scenarios. Fortnite didn't give this to Season 3's bosses. They decided to design a new medallion that only restores shield rather than the entire thing. It makes sense. It's perfect if you encounter the EMP horn from the new war bus, but this thing has actually changed more than you think. Not only did it get a wasteland makeover, but the turrets have been massively nerfed. Back in Chapter 3, it had a slow-firing heavy turret on the front and a light, fast-firing minigun on the back. It made it pretty balanced, but now the minigun has been removed and replaced with a second heavy turret, and now this thing is less powerful than ever. One weapon a lot of players had mixed feelings over is the Reaper Sniper. At the top of Chapter 5, this was easily the most overpowered one the game had ever seen, with almost no drop-off, instant kill headshots, and worst of all, some insane mod combinations. It was almost unstoppable until Fortnite decided it was too much, nerfing it to the ground with damage reductions and bullet drop-off into the floor. Perhaps the biggest one was removing half of them from the loot pool, making it harder than ever to find. This thing was basically pointless by the end, and while some people still enjoyed it for satisfying trick shots, it is now in the vault for good. One vault that most of the community were begging for is the Frenzy Auto. This thing has ruled the loot pool for 2 seasons straight, quickly becoming one of the most OP shotguns in Fortnite. From an insane fire rate, crazy mods, and even a mythic version, it took almost no skill to send a player straight to the lobby. Even after a couple nerfs, it was still pretty strong, but now it has finally been deleted. I'll let you in on a little secret though. While Oscar is no longer a boss on the map, you can find him as an NPC in Season 3. Challenge him to a duel, and you'll be given the Mythic Frenzy Auto, the only one left in Fortnite. But nobody is talking about the secret removal of pickaxe rarities. After Fortnite purged the locker of categories, one of the only parts remaining were harvesting tools. You can equip them in game and see their hidden color in your inventory, despite the locker showing nothing. A lot of people still like seeing this last hint of rarity sticking around, but with the arrival of Season 3, they are fully killed off. With all of the new consumables and wrecked, it's no surprise that some old ones had to go, so this time we've had to say goodbye to Chug splashes. These things were in all seasons, they were pretty useful when playing as a squad, but let's be honest, when there was a godly banana and a whole bottle of anti-grav shields, nobody's picking them up. Pretty sad to see a fan favorite go once again, but now we got Nuka-Cola to take their place. Another classic item that players love has also been sacrificed. Season 2 was just getting started when Fortnite dropped a bombshell. Midas was returning. Not only did he bring back the entire crew, but also the drum gun, including his mythic version. It only stayed for a couple weeks, but the normal variants remained for the rest of the season, letting us mess around and apply a bunch of different mods. Now, with Midas sailing into the distance, so has his drum gun. Not to mention the fact we can't find Icarus anywhere, and now his wings are gone too. These were one of the coolest items for mobility, letting us literally fly around the map, escape fights, or dive bomb into enemies. They already got disabled for the entire Avatar event before returning for the final weeks of the season, but hopefully you got some use out of them because they are gone, maybe forever. It makes sense since the Greek theme is over, but I can't understand how the Warforged AR got to stay and not the Nemesis. This thing was one of the only accurate assault rifles left in the game, with the others having insane recoil or bloom. It took a lot of accuracy, but this thing could shred players when used right, and now you'll have to try out the Enforcer instead. Perhaps one of the weirdest changes has got to be the Olympus statue. This was the center of attention last season as it powered up with lightning and struck Pandora's box. After the final strike was complete, it began to crumble, showing cracks across the entire thing. This wasn't a bug, it was a planned stage of the event, so nobody could explain why the cracks have now been removed. A lot of people thought it would collapse onto Mount Olympus or crack open, revealing something inside. Instead, the entire thing was just reverted. At least they didn't do this to Cerberus, who is actually still around. Now he's just an NPC over at Grimgate, so you can head over and chat or duel him for the chance to get his mythic shotgun. It is so much easier thanks to the removal of his boss fight and wolf minions, but one thing you won't get is his medallion. Infinite skull dashes are now officially off the table, so you won't have to worry about an enemy teleporting behind you in the final circle anymore. They even deleted the teaser for this season. And I'm not talking about the giant sandstorm, but the stunt ramps. Dummy appeared in the final weeks of Season 2, giving us a bunch of quests to do tricks, jump sports cars, and wreak havoc with our vehicle. Little did we know this was all a teaser for Wrecked, but now we have flaming hoops, and these old stunt courses have been deleted. Same goes for Ares, who we defeated multiple times last season. He was pretty easy to defeat as long as the storm didn't get you first. You can find him at Brawler's Battleground, which is now empty and giving you almost no reason to land at this place anymore. With his boss defeated, it also means the rewards are gone for good. His medallion was probably one of the most underrated ones, giving you a damage buff for any ranged weapon you use. This paired great with his other reward, the Mythic Warforged AR, but at least you could get the regular version still in the loot pool. So despite all of these huge map changes, you'd be surprised to hear that only a single POI has been removed in Season 3. It's pretty wild, right? Sadly, it was a popular location, with fans trying to drop at Fencing Fields only for it to be totaled on the new map. Everywhere else got to survive, but fencing must have pulled the short straw or something. Let me know what you're most sad about leaving. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.